before 6:39 won't let us.
Yes,
All right,
yes.
so we are live. Black
We
Box
are.
Radio. We
How
are
are you?
in the box tonight. We are in the QueenDoM Series, and we have a queen. But at first, I'm gonna introduce myself. I'm Queen. I'm from Black Box Radio. I'm a host here. We are a media platform for Black excellence. We platform Black people. We love on Black people, and we extend the genius of Black people to the community and people who are outside of the community. I want you guys to subscribe to our website, blackboxradio.com. Or also, we have an email, blackboxradio@gmail. That's BLaKBoXXRadio.com. You can see that at the bottom of the screen, and you can see it on our banner that is actually scrolling. Tonight, we are so intentional about celebrating women because, of course, I'm a woman. But Black women is especially celebrated at Black Box Radio. And we have a series called the QueenDoM Series. And tonight we have a special, special queen. We have Miss Etta Myers.
Hi.
How you doing, Miss Etta? Say hi to everybody. Welcome to
I am
Talk.
blessed. Hello, everyone.
She's looking so beautiful, guys. I am telling you. I am so just honored to have you because when I met you, the first time I met you, you just inspired me, and I said, "Oh my gosh, we gotta talk. We gotta talk on mic. The Black Boxes need to meet you. Your
Mhm.
story is just unbelievable, and I don't even know the whole story, so I'm gonna hear the story with the Black Boxes. I know pieces of it, but now I'm
Mhm.
gonna hear more of it.
Okay.
So first, I want you to just introduce yourself. Where you from? What part of Baltimore you live in. Just give us a little backstory on Miss Etta Myers.
Okay. So my name is Etta Myers. Myers is my married name. I was Etta Bonner. I got married when I was 18. I lived in East Baltimore, raised by my mother. My dad died when I was 8 years old. My mother became mother and father, so she worked and took care of us. And I had two other siblings that lived in my home with two brothers, a baby brother and an older brother. And I became the surrogate mother at 10. So I began growing a little bit faster than the average person because I had to take care of my little brother. I was the apple of my dad's eye. I remember my dad vividly, clearly, that I was his everything. I was spoiled by him, you know. And so when my dad died, there was a loss, but I didn't feel a sense of loss. I felt that he was at peace. I saw him laying there in a casket, and I didn't know what death was really,
Mm-hmm.
but he just looked like he was asleep to me. So death did not seem to be a hard or bad thing. So I never saw death as being a bad thing, you know.
Okay.
And I went to school, Clifton Junior High, went on to Eastern High, uh, and then I transferred to Carver Vocational Technical High School. Dropped out in the 11th grade and got married. That was what I wanted to do. But
So you wanted to leave school and get married.
leave school and get married.
Oh, when I see you, I'm gonna give you a
Corrupted,
hug.
corrupt by the television, the
I'm, def-
television, because
I'm
it
definitely gonna.
truly, that's what it does. It lies to us. And I
Wow.
was one of those people that believed Doris Day and what was her, Clark Gable, them getting married cheaper by the dozen, two, the white picket fence, the two cars, the bullshit that they put in your mind.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
I was not advised or read completely by my mother in the sense that she didn't give me direction of what is it that you want to be when you grow up at, or do you want to go, you want to keep on going to school, or you want to go to college. Those kind of conversations didn't happen in my household. However,
Oh.
I don't blame my mother for the things that she had to do. My mother was born in 1920. We know
Mm,
what was going on in 1920. We
mm-hmm.
were not really free, right? Even then. So it was hard for her. And it was I think I told somebody or I tell people now that I was raised by wolves. And when I say that, I
Wow.
mean that I was raised by the community that I grew up in. My neighbors, I watched them and what they did. And that's how I began to learn how to take care of my little brother and what I needed to do. It wasn't just about making sure that he stayed in the block. I had to feed him and clothe him and make sure that he was good, and I learned those things from looking around my environment.
Where was your older brother?
My older brother was out there in the streets.
Okay.
He was in school and then he was in the streets and he came home at night, but I didn't have to worry about him because he was of age where he could take care of himself.
Sure,
You
sure,
know?
sure,
Yeah.
sure, sure. Okay.
So yeah.
So you were like a surrogate mother very young.
Very young,
Very
yes.
young. And
Absolutely.
then you went on to marry at 18, left school. I'm gonna give
Yes.
you a hug for that because none
Yes.
of that's getting ready to go down out here now. None of us doing that. So that's what's
Yes.
up. So you left
Yeah.
school to get married. So now you have
Yes.
a husband very young.
Yes.
Okay.
Lived
And
with
so
him.
how
Was
did y'all
very
live alone or
No, me and my husband lived together.
okay.
Actually, my husband's father had real estate, so he gave us an apartment, and we lived together.
Okay.
And we were together for about 2 years before I lost my mind because that's what happened. I began to listen to the neighborhood guys about my husband worked for the city and he worked every day, came home and brought me his paycheck. We went shopping, I did laundry and had a really good family. I didn't have to do anything but be there. But
Mm,
it was the idle time that afforded me and my mind to go places that I didn't need to venture into. So I listened to the guys that were in the neighborhood who were smoking reefer, who was doing drugs and drinking and just being what's the word for that, irresponsible
okay.
of themselves, right? And listened to them, and I left my husband at 20. Left my husband,
Really?
separated from him, went back home, lived with my mom, and eventually I met this guy. His name was Calvin Montgomery, who became what I thought was the love of my life. However, he was the lust of my life. He was that mandingo looking guy that every woman who saw him would have wanted because he was 6'4", he was 240, and he was all muscle and
Oh,
all
he
man.
had some swag. He
Yeah,
was killing
yeah, and he had some swag. So, I was in lust,
it.
and
Hmm.
he took care of me. We took care of each other while we were together,
Hmm.
and that's when I got the charge. You know,
Okay.
Mm, yeah,
So
that's when the charge became.
that's what the charge is. So that's what we're
Yeah,
moving into. So you
yes,
left your husband.
hmm
You found this new guy who is
yes.
beautiful, the apple of your eye.
So I thought,
So you thought, and here we go.
yeah,
Your life is about to change
completely,
completely. So
completely,
how
yeah.
did this charge come about?
So, one evening I was visiting my girlfriend who lived in West Baltimore. Now I'm from the east side, East Baltimore, Ashland and Milton Avenue. My girlfriend lived on White Lock and Brookfield.
Okay.
Went to see her. During that time, me and my boyfriend were not stable. I was living at home with my mom. He was living at home with his mom. So we weren't together in the sense that we lived in the same household. And of course, my mother would allow him to come visit me and stay over some nights, but he did not live there. And I went to visit my girlfriend and saw him, and he asked me to go and knock on this guy's door. And I said, why am I going to knock on somebody else's door? But I know that he's a roughneck, so I said, okay, well, he probably just want to, you know, I don't know if he want to rob him or whatever he want to do. But I went and knocked on the guy's door because that's what he asked me to do. I
Okay.
felt really messed up inside, like I shouldn't do it. But I was to myself in my mind, what is knocking on the door going to do?
Sure.
So that's what I did. I knocked on the door. The guy came to the window and said, who is it? And I said, it's me, Etta, Blondie, because I had a blonde bush at the time. So
Okay.
he said, all right, I'll be down. He came down, opened the door. When he came down, when he left the window, I left. I went, proceeded down Callow Avenue. went to North Avenue, got on the number 13, and came home to my mother's house. Didn't know anything had happened that day, that night, the next day. And maybe 2, 3 weeks later, February, March, I think the crime happened on February 26th. March the 12th, they came to my mom's house and asked to talk to me. Now, mind you, I told you I was married. When they came and asked to question me, I thought that they were talking about my husband who had just killed the guy and confessed to it.
Wait. Hold up.
Yes.
Hold up.
Okay.
So your husband that you left
That my husband that I left actually killed the guy
and confessed.
and confessed to it, right? But this is not the same person that I knocked on the door for,
Okay, so they're
right?
you thinking
It's
they're
two
talking about
separate
the husband.
but I'm thinking that it's about my husband because I don't know that anything happened with my boyfriend,
Sure, sure,
right?
sure, sure.
So I let them in my house. So they asked me who is at home with me, and I tell them my brother's at home. My brother was not there. It was my boyfriend, Calvin Montgomery, who was upstairs in my bedroom. And he said, well, can you ask your brother to come down? And I said, sure. I went upstairs and I said, Lovey, the police is down there. But they asking for Tyrone. They don't have no picture of Tyrone. So you could go down on the step and well, Lovey's this big guy. So ain't nobody going up against him. Nobody, right?
Right.
Ain't nobody going up against him. So he came down the steps. The detectives say, all right, that ain't him. But if they had a picture of Calvin Montgomery, they knew that was him. In my mind, at that time, they don't want to come up against him because he's a big black nigga that will F something up, right? So in my mind, they don't want no disturbance
Yeah, they
in
don't
this
want no smoke.
in this black neighborhood. They don't know what's about to jump off.
Sure.
So they asked me, could I come downtown for questioning? In my mind, again, I'm thinking that this is about my husband because I knew my husband killed the guy. I knew that they had him. So I goes downtown on my way. They're riding me downtown and they tell me how stupid I am. And I'm like, what are they talking about? You little dumb black bitch. You gonna go to jail for that nigga? And I'm like,
Wait a
I'm
minute.
looking
This is
around because I'm appalled that he's talking to me like this. But I
this is
don't know
what
what
the police are saying to you.
the police is saying this to me. But I don't know what to do because I've never been in that kind of situation. I was scared to death. I didn't know what to do. I know that they were taking me downtown, but as they were riding, I didn't know whether they was going to take me downtown or take me in a garage. Or I didn't know what was going to happen. But we finally arrived downtown.
What
And
year was that, my ass? What
that
year
was
was
in
that?
1976.
1976.
1976.
Okay.
And they took me into homicide, which is downtown, and they began questioning me about a murder. And I kept telling them I didn't know anything about a murder except my husband had killed this guy. That's all I could tell them because I didn't witness any murder. All I knew was that my husband had killed someone. They told me by the end of that night, this was around 1 o'clock when I left my mom's home. Around 1 a.m. that night, they came in and told me that they were going to give me a murder charge if I did not tell them what they wanted to hear. And I said, what is it? And they said, Calvin Montgomery killed this man. And I said, I don't know anything about Calvin Montgomery killing anybody. I have never witnessed anybody being murdered. Oh, you don't know nothing about it. No, I don't know nothing about it. We're going to give you this charge. I said, you got to do what you got to do. I knew I hadn't killed anybody. In my mind, truth, justice, and the American way would set me free. As long
Absolutely.
as I told the truth. That's what I believed. Up until the time I went to court. That's what I believed. My mother came and got me out. I had a $175,000 bond. went for a bail review, got out on a $15,000 bond. My mother happened to have a suitcase in with an accident and paid my attorney, right? And that's how I had a paid attorney. But as you see, I received a life sentence with a first-degree murder charge and a 5-year concurrent sentence for a handgun that was never revealed, never found. But I got 5 years for it anyway. I
Wait
got
a
a
minute.
life sentence.
Wait a
Yes.
minute. Wow. So you got a life sentence,
Yes.
5 years for a handgun that never was revealed during the court case,
Absolutely.
during
Absolutely.
the testimony. You never saw this gun.
No.
5 more years concurrently with the life sentence that they
Absolutely.
tacked on.
Yes.
Did they tell you why you were getting a murder? Did Calvin, the 6'4" cutie, did he kill that guy who he told you to knock on the door? What
I
happened?
I have no idea.
You still
I
have no
knocked on
idea.
the door. That's all I could tell you is that I knocked on the door. Had I seen anything, that my story may be different. I may have been. I would have had to say what I saw, but I didn't see anything, so I couldn't tell him anything. I
They
knocked on the
never
door.
told you who got murdered?
He never told me anything. To today, he has never told me anything about that. And on many occasions, I've seen him since I've been home because we came home under the Unger case.
Wait. Hold up. Wait a minute, Miss Etta. So
Yes.
when you were going through the court case and you heard who died, who got killed?
A gentleman by the name of Calvin Preston.
So Calvin Preston got killed on the
Yes.
west side in Reservoir Hill where you were at.
Yes. On Callaway Avenue in Brookfield.
On Callaway and Brookfield, a
Yes.
guy got killed.
Yes.
Okay, but you went and got on a bus and went home.
And went
So
home.
you never witnessed the murder.
I never witnessed the murder.
So they came back and got Calvin Montgomery, and he was sentenced too. Were y'all in court together, or y'all had different cases?
No, we all were sentenced together.
Oh, you were tried together.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you've seen this person,
Mm-hmm.
was tried with this person,
Yes.
and got out with this person.
And got out with this person. Absolutely. So what happened during those 39 years that I was locked up? We didn't communicate. Initially we did, but how could I continue writing somebody, loving somebody who would not set me free?
You were in jail for how long, Miss Etta?
38 years, 9 months, 5 days, 20 minutes, and I don't know how many seconds.
You got it. You told me that. Wow. So
38
almost 39 years.
Yes.
For something you did not do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you would not plead to saying you did it. You still maintain you being not guilty.
Absolutely.
You didn't do it.
Yes. Did not do it. Did not kill anybody. No.
And so let me ask you a question. Within 39 years, did you ever say, listen, I got to fight for myself? I got to.
Absolutely. I went back to court several times post-conviction, which was incompetence of my attorney, because I felt like because the gun was never produced. Witnesses, I never had an opportunity to find out who my witnesses were, who said that they saw me actually at this individual's door and go inside and come back out. No, that didn't happen. There was not enough physical evidence to put me there at the scene of the crime when it happened. I will say until my dying day that I did knock on that gentleman's door and I left. So I could not say that he was killed by anybody because I was not there. Had they given me in a conspiracy charge, I could live with that. But that's not what happened.
They gave you a life.
They gave me a life plus 5-year sentence.
And it was for murder one.
And the judge told the jury that they are the judge and the jury, that they are the law of the land, which is why I came home 38 years later.
Because of the jury instructions.
because of the jury instructions. Improper.
Yeah, that was Unger versus the state of Maryland.
Exactly.
It was everyone before who was sentenced before 1981
Yes.
was when they most of the lifers were
Was
released.
released. And I was the only woman that was released during that time. The only woman.
So you're the only woman, and they released over 200 men.
Absolutely. 234.
And you're the only woman out of 234 men that was
And I'm the
released
only woman.
on the
Yes.
Unger decision.
Yes.
When did you actually come out of jail?
I came out May 21st, 2013.
Okay, but we're gonna go back. So first, I want to hear
Yes.
you're young. How old were you when you
I
walked
was
into?
21 when I got discharged. 21.
So you walked.
Vibrant, happy, beautiful, young, so much
I'm
life, you know.
I'm
Um,
telling you, because you're
yeah.
beautiful now. So I know
Thank you.
you was a
Thank
killer
you.
back then, right? You was
Yeah,
killing them
right.
kids.
Exactly.
I know you was.
I
So
was.
I believe it.
Thank
I'm
you,
looking at
God.
you
I
now. You
was.
was a killer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
If I
20,
only knew.
you didn't even know, right?
And I didn't even know.
So you went into jail at 21 years old.
Yes. Hmm.
What?
Uneducated. You know, I had dropped out of school. So I began, the first thing I did was to go, try to get my GED. And I
Okay.
had to do that twice. I had to try it twice. On the second time, I passed the test. So I'm going to college, you know, at that time. And at that time, they did not have college courses for women in Jessup. So a
Really?
group of us ladies, Mary Brown Bay, myself, Irena Pretty, white girl named Joanna Stern, we all got together and we wrote an appeal for a discrimination suit because we needed the same things that they were offering the men.
You wanted college courses.
And
Okay.
we won it. The grand jury came down, visited out the institution, spoke with all of us. They found that we had grounds for discrimination, and
Wow.
we began going to college. So I went to college, got my AA degree from Catonsville College
Okay.
and Anne Arundel College, and then I went on to study at Morgan. Right. Yeah.
Mm.
And then, well, I didn't complete my bachelor's at Morgan because they offered um, upholstery course in Jessup, and it was theory. You know, you have to read the theory part of any skill. And
Mm-hmm.
learned that skill. It took me 8 years to do that. So I acquired my license in upholstery and became a seamstress and an upholsterer at the same time and my AA degree. So I had I had marketable skills.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
I was not a troublemaker while I was doing time. You know, I was the advocate for women in prison even then. You know, when I was doing time. You know, I became a mentor to many women. You know, I've been called my aunt, sister. You know, all of those titles come with um you being the kind of individual that care about people and
You were the
what's
maternal presence. You were a
yes,
yeah.
yes,
Okay.
yes, yeah.
Wow, this is so amazing. Let me when you went in at 21 and you was in all of these stone walls and what did you think? I mean, how did you feel?
When I went in, I think I slept for like 2.5 days.
Mm,
I remember. Let me back it up a little bit. The day that that I went to court and the guy told me that I was found guilty and I had to go back for sentencing. The day that I went for sentencing, my mom was there, and I saw my mom just. It was like a darkness came over her. You know what I mean? Like I could still
mm,
sense and feel the pain that she felt when he said that I was going away for a life sentence,
mm,
And the only thing that I could think of was to protect her was to say, can I see her for 1 minute before y'all take me away? And they let me go to her. And I told her, I said, Mom, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be all right, okay? I promise you I'm going to be okay. And I don't know if she believed me or not, but that was the only thing that I could say. I didn't know what else to say. I didn't know what to do. And
mm.
and they took me away. So when I got down there, I was beat up. and I
Oh,
didn't know what to expect. So I slept for 2 days. And when I woke up and looked through the bars and the screen, it was like, like, where am I?
where am
I
I?
didn't know where I was or what to expect. And so I had to figure out what was going on. Looking out the window was the only thing that I could do so I could see how people interacted, the gods, how they came and left. And, they did recreation right outside my window. And so that's when I began to observe my surroundings. And when you come into prison during that time, you were labeled a lifer, and they had to observe you for at least 6 weeks. So you had to stay on quarantine for that amount of time, so they could see how you interact with yourself, with the officers and other inmates.
Yes.
And I came off in 3 weeks because of, I guess, my personality and my ability to get along with everybody. He said, she's not, she ain't gonna be no trouble. The girl got a life sentence. She just trying to make it. And they took me off.
Mm.
And I went into general population. And that's when I got a job at the kitchen. That's where most people worked, in the kitchen or either in one of the sewing factories. I went to the kitchen first, and that's where I had my first fight at. I had to fight down there. And came out of there and started making decisions. I had to learn how to make some decisions on my own for the first time, some real decisions like, I ain't got nowhere to go. What am I going to do here? And that's when I decided that I was going to go to school and get my GED. And then I went on and, furthered my education and got the skills under my belt and began working with the warden of the institution, learn the process of the institution so that rights were not violated for me or any other prisoner that I knew. And that's how I did my time. I became an advocate for women in prison, you know, at 21, and did it up until the time that I left. I devised a group called Scream while I was there for young women because a lot of gangs started coming in prison during the 90s, the late
90.
90s,
Okay.
and they didn't know what to do with them. And they came to me and said, Etta, what are we going to do? And I'm like, the hell? I'm locked up. I've been
That's
home.
not your job.
You know, I went on work release for 5 years. Come on. I'm tired of doing programs for these people. I'm tired of helping people. I want
Yeah.
somebody to help me.
Yes.
But because
That's
of
honest.
who I am, I devised a group so that people who were in gangs, and in my perception, in my opinion, they were people who were lost, who needed to know who they were first
Yes.
and to share their pain and know that it was okay to share that pain, to start a new beginning, to start to look inside of themselves so that they could see that they don't have to make bad decisions, because
Absolutely.
that's what it's about. It's about, and the more empowered we are as people, the better decisions we can make. But if you don't have that knowledge, then you make poor and bad decisions. So it was
Absolutely.
my job to make sure that they know who they were. Because once
Mm.
you know who you are, you can move on to be something and anything that you want to be and take somebody with you. Because
Mm.
that's what it's about for
You
me.
you pastoring now. You got a whole
That's
you
the
have
reality,
yes,
you
that's
know.
reality right there.
And that's what I did my entire 38 years there. Was I You have to help people. You know, our job as human beings, is our place here is to make our place wherever we are a little bit better for ourselves and for the next person. It's
Absolutely.
not just about me. It's not a me
Absolutely.
world. It's a we world. So collectively together we are able to move on and do things,
And listen to you in prison. You're a
Yeah,
person who cannot come out and you're
yeah,
thinking of others and you're
yes.
making space for others.
I
That's a
always
beautiful.
had hope. There was
Mm,
always, and not that, because in the beginning, me and God, we
y'all
ain't
weren't
had no
friends.
relationship. I was mad with him.
I believe
Oh,
it.
how could you do this to me? You
Mm-hmm.
know? But I had to learn. There was a period where I thought I was angry with God, that He allowed me time to sit still and find out a few things about Etta before I could get with Him. Because, see, you got to know who you are before you go to Him as well,
Yep.
you know? Because you got to be able to communicate with Him, you know? And I learned how to communicate with Him. And as a result of that, I knew once I learned who He was going to do His thing. And He was going to make sure that I got my freedom. I lost my entire family during the incarceration.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna go to. That's
Yeah,
exactly what I want to hear.
yeah.
So this is inside.
Yes,
You you did all of these wonderful things. You were a maternal movement in the prison. You mentored young women. You
yes.
mentored women,
Hmm.
and you made a great tried to make a better space for everyone in the jail. That's
Yes.
what happened.
Hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we get to because I know when things are happening on the outside, there's
Yes.
whispers inside.
Yeah.
So when the whispers inside said that this was this court case,
Hmm.
the Unger, what did you think? Did you think this might be my chance?
No, I didn't. Because I fought the same case when it was the Adams case, right? So I had been fighting this case since 1978,
Wow.
right? Since 1978. So when they said, you might be going home, and I was like, man, I'm tired of y'all people telling me I'm going home. I've been recommended 5 times to the governor. No, not one governor decided to sign my papers, even though
Wow.
I did everything that the parole board say do.
Mm-hmm.
Why would I have any hope that they gonna do anything for me? My attorney came to see me and asked me to sit down, and I said no. He said, "You don't want to sit down?" I said, "Absolutely, I don't want to sit down." I said, "I take all my blows standing up." And he
Ooh.
said, "Well, I think that you'll want to sit down when I talk to you." And I said, "Well, go ahead." And I still didn't sit down. And he told me, "You're going back to court." And I said, "What do you mean?" And he told me about the Unger case. And I said, "Okay." And I was real calm, real still, and quiet. And I heard what he had to say. And it was like he was speaking to a blank sheet of paper. I didn't know how to ingest it, you know.
Mm.
So
Yes.
I walked from the administration building where you and your lawyer meet at, and I went back to my housing unit. And while I was walking, I heard God say, "Go home." And I could not believe it. And I just ran into the building and I told everybody, "I'm going home. I'm going home." In the whole entire building. They didn't lock the building. They opened up the whole building. All of us came out. We cried. We laughed. We praised God. And I was saying, if He did it for me, He can do it for you.
Wow.
I did almost 40 years. And if
Mm.
He did it for me or nobody, I'm just like y'all. We all make mistakes. All of us have come short, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But His grace and mercy, He has to do things in decency and order. He worked through people. And that's how the Anger case became about, you know. I
But you know
I came
what?
home.
You gonna make me cry on this black box tonight. I
You
just
don't want
this
to
is
make
just
that's just the truth,
this emotion that I'm feeling inside of me is just so amazing. I am just whoa man.
Yeah, Queen.
You know it's just so hurtful how we are just people are deciding the fate of another human's life so
Absolutely.
so callously, and,
Absolutely.
and we are so fine with just throwing people away. We are so comfortable with just putting people in boxes,
Yes.
and
Yes.
to hear this story, it just resonates that this could be me. You
Hmm.
just never know that we live in such a we're living like we're so free. But in
Yeah.
a moment's notice, you can be
You
in
could
jail
be
for
taken
30.
away. Yes, yes, you'd be taken away. But,
It's just a lot to ingest.
yeah, it is. It is. The only thing I can say, Queen, is that there's a strength inside of each one of us that we don't know that we possess
Until you have
until
to.
things come up against us, and
Yep.
we find whatever we need to get through and to get by, to conquer, because I'm victorious in this life. I don't need any recognition from anybody else. And when I came home, I had several people who helped me,
But
who
wait, before
allowed,
you
who
go there,
showed me.
So
Hmm.
because I don't want you to go when you came out yet. So
Okay.
after you guys have this amazing, amazing celebration, and you said they
Yes.
opened up the whole jail. That mean they loved the heck
Yes. The
out of
whole the
you.
building that I lived in.
They
The
opened
building
it
that
up
I lived in. Yeah, it was like 136 people in one area.
and they
They
opened it
let us.
up to let you guys all celebrate for you.
Yes, yes,
Wow.
yes. It was
So
awesome.
it was. I know that was
It
awesome.
was
It,
so
it was
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah,
I just feel like I was there. I could feel
yeah.
it. I mean,
It
I
was
could feel the
awesome.
emotion.
And there was a lot of pain as well, because even
Yes,
though they were happy for me, they
they
were
would miss
sad
you.
for themselves,
Yeah,
because
they.
they
Yeah.
still had to be there. But their my message was a message of hope,
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
you too, he got you. Your day is coming too.
Your day is coming too.
Your day is coming.
And so after God spoke to you, you walked back
Mhm,
to your building. You had
mhm.
this celebration. You when did you get the news that you were coming out?
Um, Several days later, they
Okay.
told me that a writ had arrived at the institution, and that I would be going to court on May 21st, 2013, and that's the day that I would be released. And I packed up all my stuff and gave away all the stuff that I could and everything, and waited for that day to come, you know.
Wow.
And
And
when
it
it
came
came, and when it came, I it was like
Christmas. Worse, right? Better than Christmas. Man.
the Wizard of Oz. Like you,
Ooh.
like you caught up in that,
Euphoria. The euphoria of
the euphoria of what was gonna happen, but also the clouds and dust that come with it. It was like
mm,
a whirlwind. It was like a tornado. It was not stable and smooth. I felt like, I don't know, like I was in the midst of a storm with with a cloud that was going to deliver me, right? Like I was going to be lowered down into this cloud that was going to take me where I needed to go.
mm.
And that's what happened.
That's what happened. So
Yeah.
from court you went home. No comeback.
No, I don't come back. I
Once you
go
went to
to,
court, it was it.
I went to court, and that was it. I was released, and I was released to the Marion house.
So you was
Marion
released to the Marion house. So
house.
where was your family?
I didn't have any family. All I had was my sister, and me and my sister were estranged, um, from my youth. My sister didn't live with me as a child. My sister lived with her godparents, and my sister resented my mother for giving her to her godparents. So we always had a distant relationship.
Got it.
But when I came home, I was able to go and see her. And as a matter of fact, I just left her about an hour ago.
Yeah, I heard you talk to
Um,
you today. You was with her.
yeah,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah. So, and
But
she's sick. She just came. She had breast cancer. She
um,
conquered the chemotherapy and the radiation, and she caught COVID during the same period. And she home, and she healthy. She's getting stronger and stronger. And so when
that's
she
nice.
needs me, I go and I talk to her.
That's so nice.
And
So
um,
someone asked,
mhm.
what is your mom? So your mom passed away. Mr.
Yeah, my
Sean
mom.
Smith asked, was your mom alive? Your mom passed away while you were in prison.
Yes, yes. My mom passed away in
Mm.
1995. My
Wow.
husband passed away in 1994.
Was he in prison? Or
No,
was
he
he?
was home.
He was
He was
home.
home.
So your husband passed away. Your mother. What about your two brothers?
My baby brother passed away in 2006. My oldest brother, my best friend, passed away in 2011.
Oh my Lord!
Yeah,
You lost your whole family
yeah,
that you knew because your
that I
sister.
knew. Yeah,
Yeah, your sister.
biological.
Yeah, your sister is someone you're getting acquainted with.
Right. Yeah,
You lost your whole family. So when you came out, it was Miss Etta Myers, and that's it against the
that
world.
was it. Yeah,
Oh
against the
my Lord!
world.
Wow.
Petrified, petrified,
And then
and
a
didn't
whole
know,
new
and,
world. You came out.
didn't know how to say, I'm scared. I
Yeah.
don't know what to do out here. I
Mm,
didn't know how to say that because I was 60 and I made it in jail. So how could I not make it here?
yes.
I didn't know. I didn't know how. I didn't know that all those things was going to come at me. Rent, uh, uh, bills. I didn't know buying groceries, budgeting, finding a relationship with a friend on this side of things when I didn't have any friends. How do you do that? Um,
Mm,
how do you ask for support? I never did that. I didn't know how to ask for help. I just didn't because I always in jail. I knew how to make it happen for me.
yes. Now
On
you're
this
in this
side,
whole
I
world.
didn't
You're in this
know
big
how to make
world.
it happen. I didn't know
Wow.
how to make it happen. But the
Mm,
Marion House was a place that showed me some of the things that I needed to learn.
okay.
And after 5 months of being there, they told me that I could go out on my own. And I ran, you know, and I was not ready, but I
Mm,
ran because I could,
you
you
could.
know.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
because I could, so I did.
So
And
let me ask you a question. When you go to the Marion House, you have to be there for a certain amount of time when you're leaving prison, or could you not go to Marion House if you didn't want to, or you
yeah,
had to go there?
no, I didn't have to go there, but it was the only place that I could go that was going to feed me,
Exactly.
clothe me, you
Exactly.
know,
Exactly.
support me until I could learn how to support myself.
Absolutely.
And so
Absolutely.
they were the ones who aided me until I left.
Mm. And so 5 months in, the 6 month you was out of there,
I was out of there. I
and you
came home in June. In December, I was in my own apartment,
wow.
having my own little Christmas tree and all that.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, listen, this is your first 6 months
Yeah,
home.
yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
people came from nowhere. People came and showed up. You know,
Mm.
I got a 1993 Oldsmobile as a present. I got a
Really?
whole love seat, uh, 55-inch TV, clock cabinets loaded up. People just showed up and I didn't know who they were, but they showed up, and this was when you don't know people can't be nothing but
That's
God.
God. That's
That's
God.
God.
That's
He
God.
just showed up.
Mm.
There was not a day that when I first came home, every day I cried, praising God. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
How can you can't, thank you just does not seem enough. Gratefulness is not a big enough word. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? What
Yes.
do you say to express the gratitude, the thankfulness that you truly feel? It's got to be bigger than that. I just don't know what it is. I
Whew.
don't know what those words are, but I thank them every day, you know.
Well,
And when I forget, because I do, and when I forget, I say, my bad, Daddy, I'm all messed up, thank you anyway.
oh my goodness. You
Yeah,
know what? It is. I feel so good that you're smiling.
yeah, it feels
Um,
good to be with you, Queen.
it
Thank
feels
you.
like you're not bitter, you're better.
No, no, I'm not bitter, because I learned what hate was in there.
Oh.
I hated my co-defendant for many years.
Mm-hmm.
How could you do this to me, the woman that you say you love and adore? You slept with every night. How could you do this? I was very angry, very bitter.
Mm-hmm.
for years. And that bitterness almost killed me because I became depressed. I
Mm.
didn't I didn't do my best. I wasn't at my best when I was hating. And when I transitioned from being angry with God until I let him in and learned that I didn't have to be angry and that I could forgive. And once I learned how to forgive, it was on and popping. It was like, hey, I'm free. You know,
Hey, I love it.
freedom that you get when
Yes.
you don't feel that kind of, those kind of things hold you down.
Miss Etta always
You
say
can't grow.
forgiveness is not for the person, it's for you.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
and people have to understand that when you forgive, you don't forgive for what happened. You forgive
No.
yourself and you move on.
Yeah.
And that gives you freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And man, this story is just life changing. You know, you think as women that that the system and people would have some type of empathy.
But they don't.
They don't. They don't have empathy for nothing
No.
special and nothing black.
No.
I don't care. I don't care if a woman,
No.
child. They have no empathy,
No respect. They don't
no
have any respect
respect.
for person. They just don't, you know. And it's
Man,
so hurtful that our brothers and sisters cannot see the forest for the trees. You know, it's like it's a smoke screen in between everybody that you meet. You know, you got to fight through it to see who they really are.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
because everybody's out for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody. You
Everybody,
know, it's really hard to find sincere people who
yeah.
want to help other people just because.
Just because,
You
yeah.
know, just because.
You know, Miss Etta, we live in a selfish nation that teaches
Mhm.
us to be independent,
Yes.
and it's a it teaches you selfishness.
Yeah.
And we learn early how to become this island that is not human.
Yes.
Eh,
That's
eh,
not human.
yeah, that you can be by yourself. I don't
Yeah.
need anybody. It
Yeah.
is not true.
And it's not real.
Every human needs another human.
Absolutely.
And it's just so amazing when you see the how that manifests into society. We see the
Mm-hmm.
violence, we see the
Yes.
the, the trauma that we're going through, but
The
it comes
unrest. Yes. The fear.
the
You know.
fear. It
Yeah.
comes from living in a country that has taught this over and started and on that premise
Oh,
of,
absolutely.
of selfishness
Mm-hmm.
and killing and maiming and controlling. It's really sad to hear
Yes,
this
it is.
story. It hurts my insides.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really, really. It's so debilitating. You could be my mother. So
Yes.
I just cannot imagine something like this happening to my mother or to me.
Yeah.
I'm a woman. I cannot even imagine being in prison for 38 years, 9 months. I don't know everyone, but I know it's 38, 9 months.
Yeah.
That's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough. And then we got a man here,
And
Sean Smith. He said he served 15 years. You
yes.
know, it's just really hard to hear all of my brothers and sisters serving this time,
Mm-hmm.
this time of their lives, 15 years of your life, 30 years of your life. It's too long.
It is too long.
We got to
It is.
find a way to deal with humans in a way that humans can make a mistake. But how do
Yes.
we rehabilitate and bring them back to society?
Yes. This.
I listened to something by a sitting elected official, Jill P. Carter. She
Mm-hmm.
said Maryland jails more black men than any state in the country
Yes.
and hold them longer than
Mm-hmm.
any state in the country. There's a problem here.
Absolutely. Absolutely, there's a problem here.
And the
And it needs
governor,
to be,
all these, it's a problem.
yeah. And we need to fix it. And only we can do it.
And
You
only we
know,
can do it.
only we can do it. And it's not going to happen overnight, but little by little, it's happening. It's changing. We
Hmm.
just got the governor out yesterday. We went to Annapolis,
Hmm.
voted him out, vetoed him out of the parole process for lifers because he does not, he's not an effective governor when you have that much power and you won't use it to let people go. How much time do a person have to do before you recognize that they need a chance?
Well, the
There's
problem that
something called the Second Chance Act.
it's no such thing. We live around people who are heartless. Let's be clear.
Yes.
They do
Yes.
not have the ability to have empathy for other humans because when it's just so sad, especially a governor like we had who has who is in remission for cancer. You would
Yes.
think that it would be, he would have an empathetic bone because God saved his life.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
why would
Stand
you
with him.
look to save somebody else's life? But you're so arrogant in your space.
Yes.
It does not make sense to me.
Yeah.
And I'm
It
hearing to
doesn't.
him, he's refunding the police because we
Mm-hmm.
are screaming defunding and let's move these funds another way. And he's
Yes.
refunding. It's this thing of that they have that they have to police, they have to
Mm-hmm.
instill fear, and they have to control. All all means necessary, whatever it takes.
By any means necessary.
Any
Keep them
means.
down. Keep them down. Keep
It's,
them
it's,
down.
it's sickening and it's so sad.
It's
And not
debilitating.
only the prisoners, the families, the children that are without their parents, the mothers who
Yes.
want to see their children. It's so debilitating.
It is debilitating. But because it is a selfish world, and hate breeds hate, and selfishness breeds selfishness. But there are those of us who know that that's not how the world should be, that have to continually bring that light to them.
Yes.
And it appears that they are in control, right? It
Yes.
appears, but
It
for a
appears.
time. But for a time. I don't know when the time is going to happen. I only know that my part is to do what I can, and that's all I can do. If each one of us do what we are in purpose, in God's purpose to do,
Mm-hmm.
then it works. But we have to allow His plan to work. But you got to do your part.
Yes. Yes.
Everybody has to do their part, you know?
Wow. So let me ask a question because we've heard your
Yes.
past, we've
Mm-hmm.
heard your present. So
Yes.
what are you doing now? Because it sounds like you're working for to help other prisoners and ex felons. What kind of work are you doing now?
Okay, so since I've been home, I've been an advocate for women inside. And so now that I'm home, I do the same thing. I belong to the National Council for Formerly Incarcerated
Mm-hmm.
Women and Girls, which is a national board. I belong to Maryland Justice Project, which is a nonprofit here in Baltimore. And I
Yes.
also am a member of Out for Justice.
Hmm.
So, I do what I can when I can. And when people ask, Etta, I need you, if it's no more than to stand in for somebody else,
Mhm.
because we are powerful in numbers. When you
Yes.
go to Annapolis in numbers, they listen, they
Ah.
stop, and they look. And we have changed things. Ban the box,
Yes. Yes.
voting rights. I
Yes.
voted when I was 60. The first time I voted was when I was 60.
Wow.
Powerful.
Because ex felons could not vote
Was
in Maryland,
Could
guys.
not vote. I
Yeah.
voted. You know,
Mm.
power. That is power.
Mm.
Annapolis now. We are in Annapolis right now. Today they were in Annapolis in the Senate to take the governor out. I don't know what happened there because I didn't go today, but I'm a firm believer that you don't start something and it ends. He's out of there. It's his time. His time is up.
It
Because
is.
he think he's going to be the next president, right?
You know,
So
we
that's what he
I think
thinks.
I'm gonna be a millionaire tomorrow, but it
Okay,
doesn't mean it's
that's what
gonna
I'm
happen.
saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what he think. So
Okay,
he
we're
all
gonna
right with
see.
it. He all right with. I'm done with Maryland. He's done with Maryland.
He's
That's
done
all
with
that is.
politics. Let's be clear.
Yes,
This
yes,
this over for you, bruh.
yes. It is over.
Sit down.
Your time has come.
Yeah, we need you to
And the
sit
next
down.
person that comes in, you need to know that we as a people can change some things.
Mm.
I'm not going to allow people to continually tell me about their children riding on buses, not riding on buses in Baltimore City. If you want your child, if you want Baltimore City to have buses for children that are here in the city, you go down there and you make a difference.
Hmm.
Don't just tell me, come and go with me.
Yes. Yes.
Let your voice be heard.
Exactly.
You never know what's going to happen. The laws are made up of ideas that come from people's minds.
Wow.
The idea that I said when I came home, I went to see the Maryland caucus, and they
Hmm.
say, what do you want to do? What would you do? What is it that you would do for those women that you left behind? I said, they need a pre-release.
Mm.
They said,
There's
what?
not one in
They
Maryland.
was like, what? I was like, they need a pre-release.
Yeah.
Monica Cooper and Karen from OJTF
Yeah.
took me to Senator Robinson. I shared that idea with her. It is now law that
Mm,
we are going to have a pre-release.
it's coming.
An idea, the
Uh,
right person, the channel that takes it in. My name ain't got to be in lights. I want those women to have what they need,
they need a pre-release. It
and
is.
they're going to get it.
It's shameful that there
Yeah,
has
it's
not been a
shameful.
and the governor would not grant it. You have to fight.
Absolutely, we
He
had to
would not
fight
grant it. I
for
want you
years.
for
For
years.
years, we
I want
fought
you
for
guys
that.
to know he opposed it each time.
Absolutely,
It's awful. So finally, we have a pre-release for
we have a
women in the state
pre-release
of Maryland. I
ready to
love it.
happen. Yes, you
Now
know,
we need to take some bulldozers and knock all the damn prisons down. That's next.
absolutely, and it's coming.
It's
It's coming. It's
coming.
coming. We gotta do what we gotta do.
We gotta
You
do. We
know?
gotta do. Let me ask
Yes.
another question. 'Cause
Yes.
I'm sure the black boxes would like to know that.
Uh-huh.
Since you went in this decision and these jury instructions were so malicious that it
Yes.
overturned all of these lifers, were you guys compensated? Were you given anything when you came out? What was your compensatory movement from the state of Maryland when
There
you left?
was no compensation from the state of Maryland.
Did
The
you say
agreement,
zero?
I said zero. The agreement was before we went to court was that we would not sue the state of Maryland.
So to
And
get out, you had to
absolutely.
sign.
That was the agreement I had to sign for time served.
So you were wrong, and you had to write away your rights to get out.
Yes, to get out.
Listen. I hope you guys are listening.
Yeah, that's what they need to hear.
You need to hear this.
Because I had been locked up for nearly 40 years,
Mm,
I was 60. I said, I'm going home. I ain't got 20 more years to fight.
absolutely. You've been
I
there.
ain't got it. For
But
some
you
money,
keep it.
I get whatever I need out there. I came home and I got what I need. I don't have the best, but I have everything that I need.
You're
Everything.
looking like new money to me,
I'm not
Blondie.
hungry.
Huh? You
You
look good
know,
to me.
I have everything that I need. I have most of the things that I want because I serve a
Beautiful.
good God,
Beautiful.
serve a good
Beautiful.
God. And
So
I have people like you, people like Monica Cooper, Nicole Mandel,
yeah,
that support me,
that's
that will
important.
help me in my plight, When I need something, I do have a few people that I can go to. The people that I've mentored who
Mm-hmm.
now call me mine. And when you are able to recreate a family and really become a family member of someone who is not your blood relative,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
they accept you as being a mother figure to them. Oh my God,
Mm,
that is just it's so beautiful.
it
I
is.
went to my first Thanksgiving after I've been home for 8 years. My first Thanksgiving this year, a couple weeks ago, the first time I had Thanksgiving where any love was,
You
where
are
there was love.
you are touching my heart tonight.
It is.
I'm glad I wore a hat because I can't
We
take
had
it so much.
everybody was there. The oldest Aunt Joyce, 93 years old, and me, 68. She said, my daughter said, okay, we're going to eat. Somebody I say grace. One of our cousins said grace. Said, ain't don't nobody touch the food. Grace is for Joyce is first, and then my mother.
Oh,
I was floored. I was floored. I've never been honored like that. To stop everything. Don't nobody do nothing. My mother got to eat first. What? I ain't never heard nothing like it. It messed me up. It messed me up.
Mama Etta, you
For
can't do this to
real.
me. You
I
cannot do
can't.
this to
I,
me.
that's my goodness. That's the love that's being given back to me. Because I took care of somebody's child when they were down there in that mess, in that muck, in that murk, in that mud that they couldn't see. I gave them a red light. When I come home, I was repaid. That's goodness. That's happiness. I'm not crying because I'm hurting. I'm crying because I was happy. You know. It was a great time.
Mama Etta,
Time.
it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
this. I'm telling you, it's just my whole my emotions are everywhere. I'm just so happy for you.
And I'm happy too. And I'm so
I'm
happy that you asked me to talk to you. I really,
yeah. I wanted you because I know you would touch the world. You
yeah.
know, I know
I
how
hope
you.
that I had.
When you touched me and I met you that day, is you touched me and I call you and I'm just like so amazed by you and we're gonna keep in touch.
Yes.
What
Have you ever
absolutely
seen, there's a show, National Geographic.
have I
You
ever
got to
seen
pull
it?
it up. You already seen it?
I've seen it when I was a kid. I don't watch TV
Really?
now. Yeah, I don't watch TV. I don't haven't watched TV in 6 years. I don't.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, I don't watch any TV, but
Okay.
I've
It
seen
has
that.
my story on it. That's
It
why.
is it
Yeah.
really. I'm gonna look it up. I can Google it.
Yeah. Just
Yeah,
so
I'm gonna Google it.
really
You,
good.
but I got your story now. You gave it
Yeah,
to
you
me
got it. You got it from the horse.
from the horse mouth.
Yeah.
And listen,
Yeah.
you don't look like anyone who's been in any bondage. You're beautiful.
Mm.
I just want you to know that you're so
Thank
beautiful.
you. Thank
If
you.
I look half as good as you at 68, then I'm doing some
Girl,
stuff.
you gonna be all right. You're beautiful now. I don't know how old you are, but you got it
Oh,
going
I don't
on.
want to scare nobody. I ain't gonna tell nobody that
Yeah,
on
you're
air.
a beautiful black woman. Don't let nobody tell you nothing different, okay? That's what I said.
So I listen. I
Yes,
know you have blessed my black bosses tonight.
great. I hope so.
One thing I did think about, and I'm gonna end on this,
Okay.
is even though this Unger decision came down, and I'm so grateful that it released 230. You said 234 people, right?
Yes.
Including you being the only woman.
Yes. Yes.
They released people who've been in jail though all their lives, so they
Yes.
came out. Can't What can they really do for themselves? I mean, I would
And
want to clean my prisons out of the older population. I hate to say it.
yeah.
But it sounds very hypocritical that you take people's lives for 30 to 40 years and then you say,
Yeah.
okay, you're free, no
No,
money, no
get out.
compensation, just get out. Uh, uh,
How do you do that? Now, the University of Maryland School of Law did have some social workers,
mhm.
gave out some bus passes, help people, directed them to get um their birth certificates, social security cards, Medicare, Medicaid, things of that nature. There was a small group of social workers that helped some of the guys. So I won't say that's the compensation that they got. Is that enough? Absolutely not.
That's it.
Most of us didn't have anywhere to live.
Mm,
So they would transit. We had to go to transitional houses. Some people had people that opened their arms to them. But what about those that didn't
that
have
didn't.
anything? You know, they had to be, they went into transitional homes, you know,
At that age, at an older age,
at that
leaving,
age,
you gotta go. Yes,
geriatric age,
you gotta go to a transitional home.
to be degraded even more so because, like you say, because of the world that we live in now.
Yep. Yep.
Selfishness. People are
Selfishness.
not kind.
They're not
People are
kind.
very hard.
And
And if
they
you're
look at
not
you
a
being in
strong
prison.
individual, you're gonna break if you're not strong. You know.
I want to say, bless these 234 people. Bless you.
Yes, that's
I
great.
am so blessed to be able to get this story from you and to actually be able to give it to other people so they can see what can happen and what are the possibilities
Oh
and
yeah.
how you grow from any situation that's thrown at you.
Any
That
city.
there is growth in any situation.
You just gotta
And
want it.
you just gotta want it. You just gotta want it. You're beautiful.
Thank
You hit me with that exuberance. You're so intelligent. you know,
Yes, I
y'all
wanted
know,
my picture to exuberate
yeah,
me.
she
That's
said she
who I
exuberated
am.
her essence. Excuse me. She hit me with that and almost knocked my head off. But you're so beautiful. You're so
Thank
intelligent.
you.
And
Thank
you're a
you,
light,
Queen.
and I'm so glad you did this with me, Mama
Thank you,
Etta.
Queen. Thank you for having me.
Bless you.
God bless you as well.
Absolutely bless you. And I hope the rest of your holidays are beautiful and you are able to flourish and do the
Yes.
things. Bless your sister.
Mm-hmm.
and the relationship that I
Thank
hope
you.
you guys can have. And
Thank you. Yes.
listen, happy 2022 to you.
Thank you. And
And
also to you, Queen.
we're gonna be in touch.
May you be prosperous.
We're gonna break some bread together. I want to
Yeah,
sit in front of
that
you.
sounds good.
Yeah,
Sound good?
we're
Yeah.
definitely gonna do that.
Okay.
I'm just amazed. I just love talking to you. Thank you so much for this.
You're so very welcome here.
I really appreciate you. Black boxes.
Yep.
We've had Mama Etta
Good night.
Myers, but she's out. She's with us. She's bringing the light to the world. This has been the QueenDoM series, the last one of the year. We have a beautiful queen that is free, a free butterfly.
Mm-hmm.
So
Thank you, God.
yes, thank you, Jesus.
All
So
right.
we're boxed up now. Can I get some deuces from you, Mama Etta?
Hey.
You guys, yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about. Don't go nowhere. We're gonna end the broadcast. Stay right there.
All right.